But by and large, it's a really good system, and it does trigger the alarm again when the ankle bracelet itself is cut off. That sends a signal right away because there are wires within the strapping. It also signals to the monitoring company when the battery is about to die because it has to be charged up every single day. So there's all kinds of good precautions that are put into it. But at the end of the day, it's something that can be removed. I mean, you're not going to take a pair of kitchen scissors and cut them, but you can find all kinds of other things that will allow you to remove that bracelet. And as soon as that happens, the alarms go off as well. So, it does happen. It doesn't happen very often. It doesn't bode him well in court later on when he gets arrested and he wants to get released again. He's shown that he can't abide by a court order, so he'll probably end up staying in the bucket once he's arrested.
So it is monitored full time. So the reason that they knew he was at Yonge and Church is because that's probably where he was when the alarm went off, that he cut this thing off. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's a very fair inference that we're making. He also may have conditions on that release condition where he can't go into downtown Toronto or in a specific area of downtown Toronto. You can refine those parameters that cleanly. But yeah, and absolutely, when that's cut off, that's the end. That alarm goes off, and they know that that's certainly the last place that unit has been, and we'll assume that it was on his ankle at the time.
Now, I know people can be creative, and I know even the toughest bars and all of those things can be cut, but shouldn't this be something that can't be removed? Like, is there not technology that would do something to prevent its removal or to stop the individual in the event they were able to remove it?
Well,
especially if this guy's high-risk offender.
Oh, absolutely, and that's a very fair question. This is almost like a webbing strapping that holds it onto the ankle, and it does have electronics in the webbing, which identifies when the circuit's been broken. But I mean, short of that, if we're going to put metal or steel anklets on the individual, criminals are creative and they're going to find a way to saw that thing off as well. But again, it works for the vast majority of people that are, obliged by court order to wear it. But there's always going to be people that are always going to find a workaround, the right kind of cutting material, or Lord knows what he used in this particular case, that they're going to get it off. But again, the good thing is that they have a last location of him, and he's a pretty distinctive looking lad.
I don't know, Mark. I think if he had like the exploding ink, if you try to steal a piece of clothing, wouldn't that help? There's got to be something we can do to make these more secure and more identifiable.
Oh, without question. I mean, technology changes every week in the world that we're living in now, and this is still fairly new technology in terms of the way the courts are using them now. So yeah, they'll look at it. They're going to see, when they do find the anklet, they're going to look at it and see how it was cut, what type of tools were used to turn it, to get this thing off of his ankle, and we leave it to the experts to find new ways to make this thing even more impenetrable.
Mark Bendelson, Newstalk 1010 crime analyst, former homicide detective. Thanks as always for your time.
And Deb, thank you very much for affirming one of the things in my life I've always made sure of. The best way to take care of your washer dryers and not having them catch fire is do what I do. Never learn how to use those two appliances in the first place.
Not particularly helpful, Mark, but thanks.
I'm sorry. What can I
Let's check in on traffic, and then I want to take some calls on this. How do you feel about the fact that we have a high-risk offender who was out in our community with an ankle bracelet and he was able to get rid of it? 416-872-1010. 3:45, time now for Newstalk 1010, time saver traffic.
Well, no change to problems on the Gardner westbound. This is Raker is Boynton. You'll find the left lane blocked following this collision again. It is very backed up now from Jarvis. The wave map showing over 8:40-minute delay just to get out of the downtown core. Don Valley Parkway north, no issues. It's a busy drive as well from Queen up to the 401. Forward across the top of the city, pretty slow, but all earlier issues have cleared, and we continue to deal with problems which are shut down Davis Drive up in Newmarket, closed both ways between between Dufferin and Bathurst following a fatal collision investigation. News Talk at 10:10 weather for your night tonight. Partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of showers in the overnight. Lows heading down to 19, so we still stay mild. Right now, we're sitting at 29 degrees under partly cloudy skies with the Humidex. It feels like 36. With buy one, get one free at Dulux Paints, do more and do it for less. But hurry, offer ends July 7th. Visit your local Dulux store today. I'm Adjoan Siaya Bois. Your next update at 4 o'clock on News Talk 1010 Toronto.
I know that everyone is concerned with getting the most money for their property, and with Franklin and Associates, you don't have to worry. Because the multi-million-dollar marketing system reaches millions of potential buyers to ensure you get top dollar. But one of the problems that's hurt many families is that they buy a new home before they sell their current one. They feel that's the safer route to go. But then what happens if you can't sell your existing house? Or the closing dates don't line up and you've got a period of time where you've got two homes to pay for and the banks won't lend you money to bridge. Well, we know what happens. You get sued. Your life becomes a nightmare, and this has cost many families everything. So to make sure to avoid the stress of the lawsuits, you need to call the team that has the solutions and will guarantee you can buy your next home on time without that stress. The Buyer Guaranteed Home Purchase Program is there for you. 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go to GetLeo.com. That's GetLeo.com and start packing with confidence.
Crave is your destination for the summer's hottest reality series. Love Island USA is back. Stream now. Subscribe at crave.ca. Crave, proudly Canadian.
Great Scott! Back to the Future is now on stage, and audiences are going wild, declares the New York Times. It's a jaw-dropping spectacle that hits all the right buttons, raves USA Today. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious entertainment. Back to the Future, the musical, at the CAA at Mirvish Theater, July 23rd through August 31st. Get your tickets yesterday at Mirvish.com.
Summer Wishes returns July 4th to 20th. More than just great food, it's about supporting restaurants that give Toronto flavor. Explore new tastes or revisit old favorites. Book your table now. Visit toronto.ca/summerwishes.
In Sweden, minimalism doesn't mean boring. It means removing the unnecessary and perfecting what remains. Polestar 3, the electric SUV with sports car performance. No bells, no whistles, just design and performance perfected. Until June 30th, enjoy a $25,000 cash offer. A bold step toward electric without compromise. Yes, $25,000 on a Polestar 3. Visit Polestar Uptown Toronto or Polestar.com. Conditions apply.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.ca/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one. License for working before. See website for details.
Carolyn, Sarah, I heard you had something for me. You're going to like it.
Everyone is going to like it.
Tell me, Sarah.
We have 8 exciting new engagement rings.
Let's do that. Super exciting.
We call it the Top 10 Collection.
Are they elegant? Extremely elegant. Are they dazzling?
Delightfully dazzling.
Are they affordable? Amazingly affordable. Do you know who should come and see them? Who?
Everyone. Who doesn't want?
It is good to see you love it.
In Farms, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
Listen to Tech Talk with Mark Saltzman, Sundays at 5 p.m. on News Talk 1010. Brought to you by LG Care Q, keeping the life's good promise with quality customer care.
52,000 airport workers make Toronto Pearson possible, and that makes Ontario's economy take off. Let's celebrate them together on June 25th for Airport Workers Day. Learn more at torontopearson.com/airportworkersday.
You're listening to Deb Hutton on News Talk 1010, Toronto.
Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. I just shared a story with Mark Mendelson, our crime specialist, a few minutes ago. The York Region have warned the Toronto public, quite frankly, that there is a high-risk offender. Now, they've not defined what he has done, any conditions of either his probation or parole, but they said he is a high-risk offender. If you see him, you should call 911. Don't approach. And Mark Mendelson said he's a very distinctive-looking individual, and the good news is that hopefully he will be picked up. The reason for this appeal and warning by York Police is that the individual has an ankle monitor, and he was able to remove his ankle monitor. And so my first question to Mark Mendelson is, what is a high-risk offender doing in the community if they still require an ankle monitor? In other words, if he is not yet safe to make decisions and it's not safe for us for him to be in the community, so much so he needs an ankle monitor, why is he in the community? Now, one of the responses to that, of course, is our jails are crowded. And this is a safe way to ensure that we do not have overcrowding in our jails. And that dovetails to the conversation we had just under an hour ago about the Ombudsman's report here in Ontario that says we have a crisis in our corrections facilities. Overcrowding, use of force, lockdowns happening a lot. And for the most part, all connected. But I have a real problem if we are using, for high-risk offenders, electric monitors, which clearly, as has been outlined in this story, if a criminal is creative enough and determined enough, can actually ditch the ankle bracelet. 416-872-1010. Do you think that this should continue to be something that we use as part of our overarching correction system? Give me a shout, 416-872-1010. We have a talk back. Let's listen to that.
One of the reasons that judges keep giving enhanced credit to offenders, be it on bail or in sentences, is because of the horrible state of our jails. And so if we want to see criminals spend the proper time behind bars, we need to invest in our jail facilities, both physical and, of course, staffing. It's a huge problem, and it's part of the reason we've got revolving door institutions. Thank you.
Great point. 416-872-1010. How do you feel about it? I feel like almost every day we have some conversation about a piece of our overall justice system that isn't working and is leaving you and my family at risk. I mean, this guy's wandering downtown, high-risk offender, and nobody knows where he is. Let's go to Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hi, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm good. What do you think about this?
I agree with you 100%. I think the last 5 to 10 years, our criminal justice system cannot contain the amount of criminals we have, and we don't have enough facilities, and they're just releasing them on house arrest with these ankle bracelets, and they're also doing with mentally ill people. We don't have enough rehab centers. We don't have enough mental institutions. We don't have enough...
I'm around close to where Marlin and live. Find out where they're coming on. Okay.
The people in our provincial jails are not convicted. Many of the charges are very trivial, and with only the people and the wealthy on your charge is very serious. You will get a lawyer. You will get out. Like, there is a problem with our system, and there has to be attention drawn to the overcrowding, ridiculous situation. We have a problem. We keep on talking about bail. People can't get bail, and you're getting way more serious criminals who are able to get out because of overcrowding. When we're crowding it full of people who aren't convicted, what are we doing? The Karen is either one or the other, right? Either people can't get bail, or too many people are getting bail. Because I'll tell you, my gut reaction to what you said is that it seems every single time we talk about a heinous crime on this station, somebody is kept on bail when they commit the crime. Well, it's so interesting because I don't understand. I work with people who are
criminalized or who are in the system, and they cannot get bail. If you are poor, if you don't have a relative, if you don't have a surety, like there are circumstances for sure. If you get a surety or you have some family member, or you have the circumstance that's better, you will get out. So there is, of course, you already have a lawyer, maybe because you are like some kind of chronic or bigger type of criminal. But the person who is alleged to have shoplifted, the person who is sitting in the passenger seat of a car when the driver hit someone with their car, they're sitting in jail too. They weren't even driving. They can't get out. They're in there for 5 months, 6 months. There is no publicity or media coverage of this, and it's a massive problem for years and years, and this causes the overcrowding that often allows the guys who have a lawyer to go into jail and have their lawyer say, oh, the conditions are horrible, because they actually have a lawyer. And you have other people who actually didn't do something, pleading guilty to get released from jail, who were never convicted, and they've been in there for 5 or 6 months because they can't get bail, so they'll say, I'll plead. Anyway, like it's a huge, massive problem. It has been for years. Talk to Elizabeth Fry, talk to John Howard, talk to criminal defense lawyers. This is a massive epidemic problem that no one cares about and the media doesn't report, and it allows for these situations to continue where you do have a serious criminal who does get out of jail, who is convicted, like or has really serious gun charges or whatever, and yet you have all these trivial matters sitting in jail in overheated situations right now too. So it's a huge problem, and one begets the other.
Karen, I so appreciate your call. What an interesting perspective on this. I really appreciate it. And Jim Richards has joined me. I mean, I always ask the question as I just did with Karen. It seems on one hand, people say 80% of the people sitting in our jails haven't been convicted yet. They've only been charged. And yet every friggin' time somebody gets killed, somebody is arrested on a major issue in this city, they're out on bail.
I gotta say...
So, I mean, no, but that's a really interesting perspective.
No, it is. But I think, with due respect to her, I've heard that a lot. And I don't know how you can juxtapose, hey, we have a weak system. But you talk to lawyers, and the lawyers will go, yeah, you know what? The one and twos of sideways stories that go awful and somebody ends up getting hurt by somebody out on bail doesn't mean that the system doesn't work for the 99% of the time. And
well, if it was ones or twos, though, I'd say okay.
Well, it is.
It's not.
But it is. It is.
We have one every week, Jim.
Yeah, but you know how many people on bail? I mean, there are tons of people on bail. But I would go back to, like, how can it be that so many people are getting out when we have 85% of the people who are incarcerated in this province are still waiting the trial? Like, how do those two things get together? And
100%.
Yeah, so all of that kind of stuff.
And now you're out of time. Listen, that's it for me.
Gold starring for adults.
Gold starring for adults.
What do you get a gold star for in adulting?
Me being me. I'm not back till Wednesday.
Gonna miss you.
Have a great Canada Day. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk then.
John Moore hosts More in the Morning. Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Download and listen to any hour, straight to your phone or tablet by visiting newstalk1010.com.
Or stream News Talk 1010 Toronto directly to your smart speaker.
This is News Talk 1010, CFRB AM, Toronto, a division of Bell Media, and an iHeartRadio station.
It's 4 o'clock. Your update from the CTV Toronto newsroom starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Trisha Muhammad. A more manageable day today with even cooler temperatures tomorrow. 29 degrees right now, the complete forecast after the news. The SIU is now investigating the circumstances that led a police officer to shoot a man this morning in Brampton. The recent extreme heat top of mind at City Hall today, and U.S. President Donald Trump convinced the American airstrikes on Iran's nuclear site completely destroyed the country's nuclear capabilities. Details on these and other stories coming up. But first, let's check your drive. News Talk 1010 time saver traffic. Well, it has been a busy afternoon, and we still have problems impacting the drive on the Gardner westbound. It is Lincoln. That's where the left lane is out with the collision. About a 40-minute setback from just before Jarvis. Northbound down Valley Parkway moving very slowly from Queen up to the 401. Big delays on the 401 across the top of the city, but all earlier issues have cleared off the major routes with that collision investigation. Davis Drive closed both ways between Dufferin and Bathurst. And thanks to a caller for letting me know, getting word of a power outage situation in Etobicoke in the area near the airport. So if you're traveling along Dixon, Rathburn, or even right around the 427 in Dixon, Martin Grove, getting word that lights are out, don't forget to treat them, hasn't always stopped. Time saver traffic, Imagine Tia Bois, your next update at 4:15 on News Talk 1010 Toronto.
The SIU is investigating after a man was shot by police this morning in Brampton. The incident happened just before 10 at an apartment building on Malta Avenue. It happened after a family member called police regarding a family disturbance.
A 35-year-old man was shot and wounded by a police officer this morning. The call happened, it was in relation to a family dispute. There was a man who approached officers when officers were there, and he had a knife in his possession. And then a officer fired a single shot at the man, and he was struck once, taken to Sunnybrook.
The man was shot in the abdomen, according to the SIU, and is now in stable condition. The SIU says information suggests the man does suffer from some mental health conditions. The sweltering temperatures over the last few days may be behind us, but the extreme heat is top of mind at City Hall today. Councillors will be discussing how to better handle emergencies like this week's heat wave. CTV's Natalie Johnson is at City Hall.
This comes on the heels of an apology from Mayor Olivia Chow over the fact that a handful of city pools were closed for periods of time on Sunday during sweltering temperatures. This after the city had promoted the fact that the pools were open early this season and were accessible and available for residents as a measure to combat the heat. The mayor again today pledging that the city will do better on this file, admitting there is more work to be done. Here at council, she is asking her colleagues to support a review of the city's heat contingency strategy.
That strategy could include 24/7 cooling centers, as well as ensuring that nurses or paramedics are on call to support the opening of outdoor pools. U.S. President Donald Trump is standing by his claim that the American airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran completely destroyed the country's nuclear capabilities, despite both Iran and early U.S. intelligence suggesting otherwise. Trump told a NATO news conference the ceasefire between Iran and Israel is holding, noting both sides want to end the fighting.
I dealt with both, and they're both tired, exhausted. They fought very, very hard and very viciously, very violently. And they were both satisfied to go home and get out.
China and Russia, Iran's strongest allies, have welcomed the ceasefire, saying they hoped it would hold. In other news, 72 people have fallen ill after eating salami that was recalled due to a possible salmonella contamination. The Public Health Agency of Canada released an update today on an outbreak of salmonella infections linked to Ria Genoa salami sweet, Ria Genoa salami.
Hello? Tash! I'm there outside now when you can't see my lunch, come give me. Well, I didn't make talk, Mr. Lunch. So where I go with? Oh, that Marlon outside tired. Marlon sit down outside tired. I will sit down outside. No, how would I sit down outside then? No.
Oh, so he has a man.
So Mrs. Somebody sit down outside there.
I don't mind that.
Brother, come up. So for the make call and I not hear from you. What? I'm just give you a link to me there in front of the gate.
Yeah, it might be inappropriate.
Huh? No, I'm there, right? I stop and I look over there.
You know, the adult thing for me to do, I gotta start adulting a little bit better.
Where they upstairs? I have one man drive now. Huh? You over the garage? Okay. Just move where my drive down. Alright, later tomorrow I'm link you up. I go work, that's why I miss it. Tomorrow, Thursday, I go home. Okay, man. Just go one right there. Last week. Gladiator go high school now.
High school. Because quite often, as
huh? She not reach 14 yet. Alright, look for more then. Alright, take care.
You really have been afraid of doing, but the things that you have done to make your life a little bit better. I want to give that right now. On light pole posts, there's like a sign
with a QR code that you can scan for little, like a seminar on how to fold a fitted sheet. That would be adulting. Making your bed every day, fixing a flat tire. What are you proud of that you've accomplished and you do it on a regular basis in the adulting world? Being so inspired. Yeah, no kidding. So inspired. You always put your laundry right away. I'm getting better at that. You can sew a button back on. These are the tech sports. The things that we should really be proud of when we're taking a gold star in adulting. Doug, what about you?
Well, I think I should be the recipient of the minimum of
Just talking to Miss Dash. Reggie Osborne's.
Barometer too easy to knock off here. What do you accept? What do you think you should deserve a gold? Like, this is like kids, right? If every day somebody was giving you a gold star, just like in kindergarten, what would you expect one for when it came to adulting? Here is Lisa on News Talk 1010. Lisa?
So I'm having a tough day. This afternoon, I signed the paperwork to sell my house.
Wow.
Yeah. And this morning, for my husband at the cemetery.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I think I'm listening to you, and you're bringing my mood up, because most of these people are calling in with things that I expected my kids to do by the time they were 16.
Yeah.
But all I'm talking about is adulting. You don't do this stuff when you're a kid. And so, yeah, I think I qualify for Gold Star.
I think you do, and thoughts with you, and thank you for the phone call. That's the reality. But that's
Iron Man, because I meticulously iron everything, including for my wife.
And you enjoy it, right?
I find it so therapeutic.
Oh, that's interesting. Because for me, it's Swiffering. I feel like I think of the Zamboni driver, or when I needed a lawnmower at my house, how proud I was of the overlapping and the great lines and that sort of thing. Is that how you feel about it?
I find it so relaxing, and I have a smile on my face.
Very good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're giving out gold stars for adulting. What is going above and beyond in the adulting? I think any parent does it almost on a daily basis, where you are no longer the center of your universe and your life revolves around your kids, and your kids don't even know that it should be important for mom and dad to have a life. We're going to take a couple more phone calls after the bell here. Rob, what is the gold star standard for adulting?
Simple, it's composting, buddy. Idle. For 20 years we're living in this house, and I compost everything. Not except meat. That goes in the freezer, but compost everything. Not one banana peel. Everything goes in my compost, and even leaves. Shred them, put them in the compost. I've been doing that for 20 years.
Good for you. Extra gold star, a platinum adulting. What about you, Dominic? What do we get a gold star for adulting on?
Two of the most overrated things is cleaning your furnace filter and your linen trap on your dryer.
You're right.
If you want to save your dryer and you want to have good air in your house, especially now when the heat's on, change your filter every 3 months.
Every 3 months. Yeah, I know.
Every 3 months.
I'm doing once a year. Probably need to step it up. You're right. That is good adulting right there. Thank you very much, Dominic. Thank you very much for the phone calls. If you have one, we can play it throughout the show. Send us a talkback. If you're listening to the iHeart app and you're listening to this station, send us a talkback on what you think it deserves an adulting Gold Star. But right now, 15 minutes after 4 o'clock, the time saver traffic.
Jim, watching problems really slow down the commute out of Durham on the westbound 401 at Brock Street. The 2 left lanes that are blocked up following this ongoing collision. If you're headed that way, the delays extend from before Dixon. Rest of the 401 slow going, but no other issues. We are dealing with problems on the northbound 400. This is up at Highway 89 in Innisfil. Crews dealing with a collision that does have the right lane blocked. Over on the DVP North, still jammed from Queen to approaching Bayview Bloor. Now, I don't have cameras on the DVP at this moment, but turning to for updates because it opens up past Bayview Bloor. The number to reach me here for your traffic tips is star 1010. And up in Newmarket, we continue to deal with this pretty serious collision investigation from this morning. Davis Drive still closed both ways between Dufferin and Bathurst. News Talk 1010 weather for your night tonight. Partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of showers overnight and lows of 19. Right now it's a partly cloudy 29. Secure with that humid It feels like 36. It's louder, wilder, and all new. The Robertsons are back, and the next generation is breaking through. Duck Dynasty, The Revival, new episode Sunday at 9, only on A&E. I'm Adjoa and Cia Bois. Your next update at 4:30 on News Talk 1010 Toronto.
4 generations, 1 epic battle. Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, or Boomers. Who's gonna win it all?
Lily Singh hosts the #1 Canadian game show, Battle of the Generations. All new tonight at 10 on CTV. Stream tomorrow on Crave.
As a sleep expert at Sleep Country, I've heard some pretty creative solutions when it comes to sleeping hot. But when 11 oscillating fans and ice packs under your pillows just aren't working, know that we are here to help. With temperature-regulating sheets, mattresses, and pillows, we can find a cooling solution that's perfect for you.
For a limited time, get 25% off almost everything at the Sleep Cool event. Pretty sweet deal, eh? Only at Sleep Country. Proudly Canadian, every night of the year for more than 30 years.
Spend an evening with James Taylor and his all-star band. The American icon is back on tour. Friday, June 27th, Budweiser Stage. The multiple Grammy Award-winning James Taylor and a night full of his biggest hits with special guest Tiny Habits. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Spend the night with a friend. James Taylor.
Bacon or sausage? Why not both? The Mighty McMuffin is back for good with bacon and sausage. Pairs perfectly with a premium roast coffee starting at $1 plus tax. Mighty McGriddle is available until 11 a.m. at participating McDonald's in Canada. Price excludes delivery.
Did you know 2 in 5 Canadians will face cancer in their lifetime? Early detection can make all the difference. AI-powered MRI to help get your home prepared. Get a free AC checkup from an Enercare expert. A $99 voucher. And if you get up to $7,000 prepaid credit cards. You rent your key card paper. So, doesn't that sound better? Conditions apply. Visit Enercare.ca.
They needed more space. They wanted to buy their first home before selling their condo. So they contacted Franklin & Associates because they wanted the #1 RE/MAX team in Toronto and the entire GTA. They found a wonderful home, purchased it, it was amazing, but they still had to sell their unit in a saturated condo market, but they were confident because they built marketing working for them and the buyer guarantee. That means buy your new home in the condo closing dates in July. Well, Franklin & Associates, they did it again. That condo was sold and the stress was gone. So if you need to make a move in these difficult times and avoid the stress that comes along with it, call the only team that I would trust, the team with the solutions. Franklin & Associates, 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION, or go to getleah.com. Getleah.com and start packing with confidence.
AMI is a broadcaster that strives to change the
to make a difference.
Watch inclusive and accessible content on AMI TV or stream now at AMIplus.ca.
You're listening to Jim Richards on News Talk 1010 Toronto. That is absolutely true. We thank you very much for your time. We hope you send us your talk back if you can. Anything like that, we really appreciate it. It gets people understanding how easy it is to communicate with us that way. But the other thing that I thought we would do, I posted on social media, what do you think
This is Patrick. Hello. How are you doing? Huh?
I'm tired. I'm busy.
Oh, true. Me see you now and call your friend. Me, I wonder what I'm to you.
I know, my dear. We're busy, man.
Your friend I call you all the while and now get you.
I lie. That's why I call you and talk to you.
No, me call you all the while. You don't check your phone then. Me call you and text you all the while.
Wait, you live on the road now?
Yeah, me just a come from over your way.
Let me call you back, because we're busy, man. Oh, God.
Alright.
Me give me a show back to Claire.
Okay, okay.
Ancillary defense issues, which is a really nebulous sort of concept. So we
what do you mean by that, if I can ask you that? I just asked that because in the past it seems like, you know, funding Veterans Affairs seems to be lumped into our commitment to NATO, that any programs that we would have for vets, that would be counted towards our contribution to NATO, which doesn't seem really like it was the idea of it.
Pensions have always been in that considered part of personnel spending. It'd be kind of hard in some ways to kind of separate that out, right? But in this case, it would include a whole, potentially include, I'm not sure if there's been a full agreement on that yet, would include stuff like industries. So, you know, let's say, if the U.S. government invests in
401 eastbound, Western Road,
would allow them to have a secure supply chain in times of war that would have those typically to, you know, aircraft.
Yeah, on Western Road, right? Traffic jammed up.
One, infrastructure, so for Canada, especially airport construction in the north. Airports, that would be one because those in any sort of complex. It's a bit of a graphic tag of different areas that would include, and in some ways that makes it easier to reach this sort of headline goal of 5%. It's still, I mean, there's still lots to be worked out, and if you look at the terms of what it involves, so it's not to be reached for another decade, 2035. And there's a review mechanism in 2029, which I will note occurs right after Trump will leave office in the second term, or at the end of the second term. So, I mean, to some degree, it's a pretty easy sort of mark to hit. And I think, frankly, as sort of European states, even, you know, just with this 3.5 and 1.5 kind of breakdown, are going to have real issues reaching it. So, yeah. I could see this not actually occur. Like in some ways, this is maybe potentially a little bit of political theater just to ensure that the U.S. government doesn't or the Trump administration doesn't potentially pull out the data.
Okay, it's interesting that you say that because it does serve us well to say, hey, we're going to do all of those things. It looks like we have a real commitment to that 2%, which we were super far away from, and you wonder if it would ever happen under Trudeau. But are you confident about, it sounds like you're very leery about what the 5% means, and because it gets reevaluated in 2029, if it will ever really come about. Are you more confident about the 2%?
Well, we can break down that topic too. We reached 2% not by really improving a lot of defense capabilities. The big things is that we're going to add $4.3 billion to Ukraine funding. Great, important, critical, that we support Ukraine and constant necessary. We should be doing so because that is clearly, a major threat to our, to the global order, right? But, it's not actually improving Canada's specific defense capabilities, individually, right? A big part of it is bringing the Coast Guard into the defense spending formula. And, the Coast Guard still exists. It's not changing, it's going to have potentially in the coming years, its role may change somewhat and have more of a sort of defense or security perspective to it. But, it's not really changing capabilities, in that sense. Not very little is going to actually affect that. And so what's going to happen, though, is that in the coming years here, there's some big programs that are coming into the sort of spending fold. One is the River Class Destroyer, basically the largest, potentially largest capital project Canada's ever undertaken. That, could be $60, $70 billion over a space of 20-some years or 30 years as they build these ships. After spending, that was always accounted for. So the question is, can they ramp it up even further? Because there's just not enough people within the Department of Defense. We've been so austere with our committee that a lot of the people who are required to actually, spend the money say, this is the capability we need. This is how you manage this, to build it, to get the people trained and all that. We've lost them. We've lost an entire workforce, and that's a real challenge. And sure, we're recruiting more now, but those people aren't able to fill those roles. So it will take literally 20 years to train to get to this position.
I got about a minute here, Richard, and I wonder, having listened to Dave Kibitsky, the new defense minister on the last week, he seemed to say that you get to be by perhaps building it over the next 10 years, the capability that we would be able to, I don't know, for lack of a better term, build tanks or build armored cars in this country, and thus the spending kind of, the way you calculate it, would increase more than it would otherwise.
Yeah, but not really. The real question for me, I think what's always been my concern is making sure we have capabilities. We have areas of capabilities. We don't have many ships. We don't have many troops, right? And I would rather see a focus on what do we actually bring to force. We don't. And that's the problem. And spending more in Canada, sure, we'll buy more expensive equipment, but the Canadian forces may not have cutting edge, or it may not be delivered on time. And I'd rather see a focus on what we have to deliver for Canada, for the soldiers, and for the country as a whole. I think that's a challenge. And spending more domestically may not achieve that effect.
Richard, always super appreciative of your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Richard Schmidt, have you written about this? What we can find anywhere, Richard?
On the Hub, I've had many articles on the lack of capability in other areas, so the hub.ca.
The hub.ca, and check out Richard Shimooka. Just Google his name and you'll find a lot of the things that he's written about. He is kind of the go-to guy in Canada when talking about our capability and what we should be shooting for with our military. Richard Shimooka, also a senior fellow with the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. There was a topic that fell between the cushions on the couch from about a month ago that nobody has done. And I've rediscovered it. We'll bring it out next. Right now, 4:30 in South
Well, thanks to problems on the Salem westbound of the Broad Street and the east collision that does have the two left lanes blocked. 10 Toronto.
More in the morning.
It's going to be beautiful. We're going to have a berm at the front. You'll barely even see a parking lot.
A 6-story berm is a very large hill. It's really hard to picture how that's actually going to work. And the only rendering we got of the parking garage is like half the building and from the side of Lakeshore, so you can't see the beautiful sign and the berm.
More in the morning. 6 till 10 on News Talk 1010 Toronto.
Picture this. A grass warmed by the sun. Friends share a laugh as they dive in the lake. Behind you, a 2-story cottage nestled in the trees. Is it your imagination? Or is it your possible? Find your possible. Play Lotto 649 for a chance to win the classic jackpot or the gold ball jackpot of $10 million. Buy your ticket today. Crave is your destination for the summer's hottest reality series. Love Island USA is back. Stream now. Subscribe at crave.ca. Crave, proudly Canadian.
Surprise! It's an exclusive PC Offer Memorial Days offer at Real Canadian Superstore. Until June 25th, buy 1 pack of frozen PC burgers for $15 and get 4,000 points. Plus, pick up some red cherries for only $1.99 a pound. Reveal your offers in the PC Offer Map.
52,000 airport workers make Toronto Pearson possible. And that makes Ontario's economy take off. Let's celebrate them together on June 25th for Airport Workers Day. Learn more at torontopearson.com/airport workers day. How many people want us to come late at night?
Sometimes people work hard all day when they're in or out of the place. Then when they finally get in late at night, there's junk left over and they take it all away.
That's when you do that. So how can you come?
That's when they need us. So that's when we come.
Make junk disappear. All you have to do is play.
When you work late, we work late too.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK anytime before midnight.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com. McDonald's Sundays and snack-sized shakes are $2. Or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex did. My phone, I got you. I've downloaded registration required. After participating in McDonald's again. After that, prices exclusively. Have you ever wanted to prove the face? That's 416-917-LION, or go to getleo.com. That's getleo.com, and know your options with confidence. Jim Richards continues on News Talk 1010 Toronto. All right, that's where we're going in a second. We've got a beauty judge, Jimmy, for you. That topic that fell between the seat cushions that nobody did around here from a couple of weeks ago. We'll get to it in a couple of seconds' time. I asked on social media, and I asked you, Mr. Talkbacks, what do you think is wrong and right? Wrong answers only and funny answers only. What do you think a Toronto star should do if they hire a heat star or the chief officer of heat in the city of Toronto? What should that person do? But let's bring you in. Judge Jimmy is presiding. exciting, ladies and gentlemen. A case of two people in love. And it was birthday time. What do you get the person who's impossible to buy for? She wants a lottery ticket. Oh man, I'm going to need to have $5 to show my love for this person? Wait a second, do I even have $5 to show my love for this person? And I buy her a lottery ticket. She wins, or we win $5 million. Then she ghosts me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They couldn't find her anywhere. I want you to weigh in on whether or not this poor dude deserves any of this $5 million. Let's flash back to Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago. Here's the big announcement. January 19, 2024, and only asked McKay to hold on to it because he had recently lost his wallet. They hit the jackpot of $5 million and met with a Western Canada Lottery Corporation agent. The lawsuit alleges Campbell was told he couldn't cash in because he didn't have ID. The suit says he was told McKay should sign the ticket and publicly claim the winnings.
Crystal, what are your plans for this big windfall?
What are my plans? Take care of family.
The claim says she then deposited the money into her bank account because Campbell didn't have one. Less than 2 weeks later, Campbell alleges McKay didn't return to the hotel room they were staying in. Campbell says he went out to find her and, quote, after some investigation, he found her in bed with another guy. The claim says McKay ended her relationship with Campbell and alleges she, quote, ghosted him by cutting off contact and taking out a protection order against him. Now he's asking for the $5 million. Were indeed a couple, and whether he bought it as a gift and gave it to her, which it sounds like he disputes, if they were indeed a couple, if they were living together, common law, I think he deserves half. I think the law says he deserves half. There was a story about 15 years ago, the dude in Hamilton who won the lottery, I think he won $30 million. Didn't tell his wife. Then later on, a couple of months go by, hey, I want a divorce. Still didn't tell his wife he had this $30 million in his back pocket, but he hadn't claimed the ticket yet. They get a divorce. He gets the $30 million. Eventually goes through the court, and he still had to give up half. So do you believe in this case? That if they bought the lottery, he bought it on his own, that he deserves any of it? If they were living together, even if it was a birthday gift, he gets half. So 416-872-1010. 416-872-1010. Again, the story is he buys a birthday gift, which is a lottery ticket. She ends up winning, although he claims that, hey, I lost my wallet, I couldn't claim the ticket because I didn't have ID, so she did it for me. Which one deserves the $5 million? But I think the bigger problem, the bigger and only question here is, not who gets the $5 million. I think, does he deserve half?
because it deserves to be split right down the middle. And that's where I think things are. The jurors assembling right now at 416-872-1010 for Judge Jimmy. If this was judge only, the judge is going that they have to split it. But there seems to be the two different stories are, hey, he bought it for her birthday, and that's why she claimed it. His story is, no, I bought it. I didn't have ID because my wallet was stolen. That's why she claimed it. Either way, if they're a couple, I believe that, and I rule that they should split. Okay, let's go to the phone lines, ladies and gentlemen, keeping in mind on radio always to talk into the microphone. Steve, you're on News Talk 1010. What is your verdict here?
Hey, Jim. Pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, you know what? I've been playing the same numbers for the past 30 years, right? And I have a common law wife. We have kids and all that. If I win now, anything, half is hers. And you know what? Even if I wanted to take off or something like that, still half is hers. So I won 15 grand before I met her. That was mine. You know what I mean? So, yep. Yes. 50-50, no matter what.
I think
you know what? It's a lot of money. You know what? If you think that's going to make you happy, give her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good, buddy. How are you, brother?
Good. I'm here.
Good.
I'm downstairs.
Your voice is a little bit choppy, like I couldn't understand.
I'm here. I'm downstairs.
Oh, are you downstairs? Oh my God, I'm coming down.
Okay.
Okay, bro. Okay. See you.
Jillian? Hello? Jillian?
Hello?
Yeah. Huh?
You're not hearing.
Yeah, open the door for me.
Okay.
Okay.
don't know, but doing the